Hey guys, it's John of Exotics here. We're going to do a quick video on the different sizes of hatchling and juvenile bins that a bunch of different snake rack builders offer. We have FB5, FB10, V15, V18, the ARS mini series, 10 series, as well as the standard 10, as well as Vivarium Electronics 11 and 8 quart tubs. So let me go ahead and show them to you. Okay, so here are the different tubs. We'll go over a quick overview of them. So we'll start on this side. As you can see, these tubs are a little used. This is a V18, so Vision makes this one. It is equivalent to the FB10 that Freedom Breeder makes. We have a FB5, which is built by Freedom Breeder, and this is equivalent to the V15 tub. You can see this one's built in with a little water dish, and the Freedom Breeders, I actually really like these little vent holes. That way you don't have to deal with really worrying about ventilation too much, no matter how tight the rack is. Vision sells racks that fit these, so does Freedom Breeder, and so does CSerpents. The only ones of those three that I've personally used with this size tub are the CSerpents. Pretty much all the racks that I have are used racks that I picked up from collections and stuff like that, besides ones that I've built. I don't think I've bought... Yeah, I've never bought an actual new snake rack from anybody as far as I know. I think I've always bought used snake racks just because the price point makes a lot more sense. I do build snake racks. You can check them out on OlympianExotics.com. I can build it to fit any of these tubs. So these two are actually interchangeable, which is cool. So you can actually have 3 of these on one shelf, 2 of these on one shelf, or they have a bigger tub that I can't remember the number of off the top of my head. But basically it's the equivalent to 2 of these next to each other. Vivarium Electronics makes combination racks that hold 3 of this tub or 2 of this tub on a shelf. They also have a 23 quart version that's basically twice the size of this one. I have a couple of those in function right now in one of my snake buildings. They were pretty good. I have no complaints about it. I don't like how they do the heat tape on the Vivarium Electronics racks. I don't like it. It's not like the actual shelves of the Vivarium Electronics are extremely thin where they router through for the back heat or the belly heat on them, and it like makes it very bendy and seems very fragile to me. CSerpents does a pretty good job on their belly heat racks. I've heard complaints on the Vision racks with the tightness of the shelves. They don't really have them snug enough for the baby racks. That's what I've been told anyways. I've never actually used a Vision rack for babies. I have them for my my bigger tubs, and they seem to work okay with that, though I have had them escape and stuff like that. So I would... Especially for the price point, Vision racks are actually extremely expensive. Maybe if you're in California and you can get like a wholesale discount or something like that, it might make more sense. But in my personal opinion, not a fan of the Vision racks as much as the Freedom Breeder or ARS racks or CSerpents racks. That's just my personal preference. But if you're offered one, you know, it's used, it's at a really good price, hey, maybe that's the way to go. And then let's go ahead and go over these guys. So this is the new tub that ARS makes. I believe Freedom Breeder has a equivalent of this tub now. This is the Mini Series 10. You can see it is bigger than the V15, FB5 tub from Freedom Breeder, though I do think they make equivalent of this now. As far as compared to the 8 quart, you can see it's actually almost identical. I would say it's not quite as wide. If we put it next to it, you can see it is a little taller. Let's see. Yep, a little bit taller, maybe by 3/4 of an inch. But these are way more flexible. So you can see, like, I mean, well, actually they're about, as far as feel goes, it feels like they're about the same. This one looks more bulky. I would imagine if it was made out of the gray material, it's a different type of plastic. These are a little less flexible. So I would imagine it's a little more durable when it's made of the not clear bins. They use several different types of plastic when it comes to ARS, and you can pick whichever one you want. I don't think there's any price difference. You can also pick with or without the water dishes in there. I tend to like it with the water dishes because then I don't have to worry about them flipping it. But also it does make it a little more difficult to clean. Actually, these ones aren't too bad because you can fit your finger in there. With the FB5, you're not fitting your finger in there. So if you get urate stuck in there or something like that, you're going to have to bust a knife out and like jab it out and all that kind of stuff. It's quite annoying. But I haven't actually used this one personally for my snakes yet. I bought a bunch of these when I was at the facility picking up some frozen rats from them up in Indianapolis. I'm going to build a rack for myself and then have it as an option on my website. But personally, I haven't yet done that. And this one, I believe I have built racks around. It was actually the rodent bins, which are actually the exact same as this, but they just don't have the water bowl built in. And they make those of different polycarb or clear plastic. Well, actually, I think they just have them as a few different types of plastic. I don't think they actually preference which is for rodents versus which is for snakes. But obviously, if you're going to have the water dish built in, you're going to want it for snakes because rats and mice will chew this up really quick. Okay, so yeah, I have used these. I have a couple ARS racks that fit this tub. I like them. They're good for juveniles. I wouldn't really put a hatchling ball python on this. It's pretty big. I found that ball pythons tend to like to be like kind of wedged in there. They usually like to sit in the back and kind of like have all three sides like touching each side, so that way they feel really secure in there. Typically, I actually do start my hatchlings in the V15s if I have the space for them. Because I find that they have the highest chance of eating without any issues in these. I also do have the 6-quart tubs, which are just Sterilite 6-quart tubs. I didn't grab any for this, but you could get those at Walmart or a bunch of different places, Target, Home Depot, all of the different places. They sell them everywhere. So they're really just like a shoebox tub. But yeah, for these size tubs, I do like them for cocoa chip. They're a little bit deeper, so that allows you to have that cocoa layer. With these, it is quite snug when you have cocoa chip in there, and same with these. Let's actually check that. I didn't actually. So as far as height goes, the ARS is like maybe 1/8 of an inch taller. It's pretty negligible as far as height goes. If you built ones with not very good spacing, you could probably squeeze these into these, except that these aren't quite as deep. So you can see the difference of the size on the V18 versus the ARS 10. It is significantly bigger in this. But yeah, as far as my preference goes, I tend to like, if I'm going to use these type of racks for hatchlings, I'm going to go with this size bin right here, the FB5 or the V15. This is the best for hatchlings in my experience. I would imagine, honestly, that this is probably just as good. You can see maybe, I don't know, maybe 1 inch wider, a 1/2 inch wider at the base, and maybe another, we got about, let's see, 2-3 inches as far as the length goes. I would imagine the mini series does great as well. I haven't personally used these ones, but I would imagine it's about the same. I don't really recommend the bigger tubs for hatchlings, just because the bigger the tub, the more the likelihood they're going to get a little nervous and like anxious or whatever, and they're going to have more hesitation in eating. And plus, it's just kind of an unnecessary use of space. They don't do any better in a bigger tub, in my experience, especially as a hatchling. So I would go with that. As far as juveniles go, I love these ARS tubs. They're like super durable. Like, I could do that all day. These other ones, I'd be a little more hesitant, especially the clear bins. They tend to be a little more fragile because the clear plastic is a different type of plastic that does break and gets brittle more easily. The gray plastics are more durable. So if you're not going for appearances, you don't want to like bother looking in the side. I used to want to see through the sides, and now I've learned just pull the tub out and then you can do that. Okay, so I've had to do this a few times because my phone keeps running out of storage or the battery dies, stuff like that. So we'll just go real quick. My favorites, ARS and Freedom Breeder of the tubs would be my favorite go-tos. So for the smaller bins, I would go through Freedom Breeder. Freedom Breeder does deliver to the Tinley Park NARBC for free, so you don't have to pay the shipping on that. So if you wanted these specifically, the FB5s or FB10s, that's who I would go to get these. in my opinion, Vivarium Electronics racks are overpriced for what they are. They're not particularly durable racks. The bins aren't anything amazing comparatively to the other options. So I would probably steer away from them if you're buying new. If you find ones for used and for a good deal, then go for it. ARS, the tubs are durable. They also deliver to the Tinley Park and RBC show. They also have a show in Indianapolis that you can go to. Their facility is in Indianapolis, so you can pick up stuff there. Freedom Breeder is all the way in California, so I can't pick up stuff from them. What else was I saying? They don't make the equivalent to this size tub, unfortunately, but they do have these mini-series, so I'll probably give that a shot. But yeah, they also deliver to the Daytona Reptile Show in August. That's every year, so if you're in Florida, you can pick up stuff from ARS there, save on shipping costs, because that actually does add a substantial amount to the cost of the thing, or the rack, or the tubs. So definitely go do that, save yourself some money. I think that's all I had to say. I do build custom racks, so if you want any of these tubs built or any other size tubs, I do custom builds on that. You can check my designs out, and at least some of my older designs out on the OlympianExotics.com website. And of course, I have ball pythons for sale up on there too. So if you need anything to fill your new snake rack, let me know. I have plenty of those as well. So hope you enjoyed watching. Hope you learned something. Have a great day.